It is estimated that over 100,000 Syrian civilians have been injured by the violence, and more than 50% of them have sustained lifelong disabilities. Hundreds of thousands of civilians, most of them women and children, have also sustained deep psychological and emotional trauma. International medical and humanitarian organizations have not been allowed to enter Syria or access the affected areas to provide medical assistance to the wounded civilians on the ground. Injured civilians have been afraid to seek treatment in government hospitals for fear of injury or death at the hands of government health workers. Rather, they prefer to be treated in their homes or in primitive makeshift clinics. Many injured civilians have lost their lives because of bleeding and lack of access to medical care. Doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers who try to treat the injured have been systematically targeted by government forces. More than 100 healthcare workers have been tortured, imprisoned, and killed, including Syrian Arab Red Crescent volunteers and staff. There are significant shortages not only of medical supplies and personnel, but also of basic resources such as fuel to operate hospital generators and bakeries.
Every night I see bad dreams about children that have leg amputation or arm amputation, or I see the brain go out from the skull. But every day I think to go to safe area, to go outside the country and continue my life, my normal life. But when I leave, who will treat this patient? Because that I continue, and I hope that war will end soon.
Due to diesel shortage, especially in the north, such as Aleppo, a city of 4 million people, many hospitals were shut down and many lives were lost, including newborns who died from hypothermia hours after a non-complicated birth.
The Syrian American Medical Society, SAMS, is an independent, non-for-profit medical and humanitarian organization established in 1998. It represents thousands of medical professionals of Syrian descent.
There are currently 10 active chapters in the United States, and SAMS continue to grow and expand through its rich network within the US and in Syria. SAMS has organized annual medical missions to Syria, provided professional and educational programs to Syrian physicians, and organized donations of medicine and medical supplies to local hospitals and underprivileged families in Syria and North America.
Due to the deepening humanitarian and medical crisis in Syria and the increasing loss of lives due to lack of safe access to proper medical treatment, SAMS launched Save Syrian Lives campaign and has become a leading organization to provide medical relief to injured Syrians.
SAMS is achieving this by organizing medical missions to treat the Syrian refugees in Turkey and Jordan, training hundreds of Syrian doctors and paramedics in basic and advanced life support, providing medical supplies, fuel, ambulances, and medicines to Syria, and supporting local hospitals and establishing field hospitals in affected areas throughout Syria, from the north in Aleppo to the west in Latakia to the south in Damascus and Daraa, which has provided treatment to tens of thousands of Syrians.
We're here on Tuesday, July 10th, 2012. We're at the SAMS Michigan warehouse for medical supplies that's going to Syria, inshallah. We just unloaded a U-Haul truck that was filled with a lot of things, filled almost to the top with medical supplies donated from good doctors in Florida. Alhamdulillah, they just arrived and we just unloaded all of it. Of course, all of this needs inventorying and it needs a lot of work, but inshallah it's worth the effort because we plan on sending it to Syria so the people can benefit from it, especially with the medical crisis that's going over there.
In 2012, SAMS has established 11 field hospitals in Daraa, Damascus, Aleppo, and Latakia suburbs, provided urgently needed equipment, X-ray machines, CR machines, ventilators, surgical and orthopedic tables, hospital beds, and more. Sent over 100 Syrian American physicians and volunteers for medical missions. Initiated monthly advanced training missions for doctors inside Syria on life-saving procedures. Rapidly responded by providing diesel fuel to 6 hospitals in Aleppo and 3 generators, saving patients' lives by keeping facilities operational.
الزبداني 16/11/2012 المشفى الميداني غرفة العمليات. نشكر الجمعية الطبية الأمريكية SAMS على تقديم المبالغ المالية بقيمة $10,000 متتالية من أجل إتمام العمل الطبي في منطقة الزبداني ومعالجة المدنيين. شكرا لكم.
I am Liza Hoover. I'm a pediatric intensive care nurse, and I have come to Syria to help these good, kind people who are in great humanitarian need of medical services. I'm trying to help as best I can, given the different variables and the dynamic situation of this area, this place, the relative danger, and the different patients that we see from day to day.
SAMS also has supported successful programs outside of Syria, including free dental clinics for thousands of displaced Syrians in Turkey, treatment of wounded Syrians in Jordan, and specialized psychological care for patients and children who were affected by the violence, and also provide humanitarian assistance to their families.
The most important problem that Syrian refugees face, or medical problem, we're talking about medical problem, is psychiatric trauma. Every child, every woman, every man who is refugee has psychological trauma due to the trauma they sustained when their family member was killed or tortured or detained. Many of them were actually tortured and detained. Many of them witnessed catastrophe in their families or in their villages, and that leave a scar that it's very difficult to erase, even if they are living right now in a comfortable and safe environment, especially children.
هي دبارة عم تقصف هذا البيت؟ طيب ليش؟ بيتكم يعني هذا هيك صار؟ شو مكتوب هون؟
شكرا للأردن وللشعب الأردني.
وليش قلتي هيك يعني؟
لأنه الشعب الأردني عمل كثير معنا.
New at 11 tonight, Mary Saladna joins us with a look at the rescue mission that brought them here. Mary?
Yeah, and Heather, the children are here through the efforts and funding of SAMS, the Syrian American Medical Society. Shriners Hospital is providing the care free of charge. We were there today when the first children arrived for their first doctor's appointment. 12-year-old Gadir plans to be a doctor someday. Her 8-year-old brother Noor, a pilot. But for now, they're focused on healing. Life changed forever last August when their family, out for a drive, found themselves caught in the crossfire of their war-torn homeland.
They were hit by a tank shell, so the father and mother were killed instantly, and the 2 children made it.
It was activists in Syria that saw a Facebook page called Cure Syrian Kids. They submitted the brother and sister's story. Doctors here at Shriners in Boston chose Gadir and Noor from a pool of hundreds of children based mainly on their burn injuries.
Their skin injuries are relatively focal and I think will be amenable to being treated by scar rehabilitation surgery and by using different types of lasers to deal with the traumatic tattooing that came from the blast.
Gadir also lost vision in her right eye. It's not clear if the experts can restore her sight. And there are hundreds more young Syrian war victims who need such help. 2 more children will arrive here in Boston next month.
SAMS is also committed to support doctors and medical staff in Syria who are treating the wounded civilians on the ground. The Syrian American Medical Society, SAMS, is proud to be recognized by the US and other countries as leading medical relief organization, assisting to alleviate the medical crisis in Syria and to join and collaborate with other international relief organizations. However, the challenge is great and the Syrians are calling for help and support.
Of course, SAMS is open to the help of any person, whether they're physicians or not. The need, as you know, is huge, and we're barely scratching the surface, as they say, in terms of the medical assistance. So any person, whether he's Syrian or non-Syrian, would like to help, of course, we are open to that.
Working together by providing financial and logistical support will make SAMS stronger and enable us to save more lives and help alleviate the suffering and pain.